Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. We have for today, guys, is a highly anticipated album review. We're checking out the mighty German legend Sodom. If you didn't think you were lucky enough to get the Destruction album this year, Sodom also dropped a new album, which is killer. It just dropped on June 27th, 2025 through Steamhammer Records. It's their 17th studio album entitled The Arsonist. It's 13 tracks in total and just under 49 minutes in length. And this is kind of what I expected. It was a super highly anticipated album for me. Always excited when a new Sodom album drops. They never disappoint. They're probably one of the most consistent thrash bands of all time. They don't really have a weak album in their discography, in my opinion. And yeah, this was just another Sodom doing what Sodom do: aggressive, angry, high intensity, great guitar riffs, just doing what they do best. Um, I wouldn't say this album really wowed me. I had a kind of similar reaction to the Destruction album. You kind of know what you're going to get from the band at this point, but it's just done really well still. His vocals are still really good. The riffs are great. High intensity, like I said, super thrashy. And just really enjoyed the album top to bottom. Comparing it to the previous album, I wouldn't say it's as good as the Genesis 19 XIX or 19. That album for some reason just blew me away. Like, I think the last album from Sodom might be my favorite album of theirs since Agent Orange. Like, it's that good to me. So comparing it to that, it wasn't as good, but still another really solid, meat and potato Sodom album. You know what you're gonna get. Starting off with the opening track, which is actually the title track. It's not even like it's an introduction, but it's not even an instrumental. It's like a sound clip. It's got like a very cinematic. It sounds like a clip from a movie or something. Like it's got like a pondering kind of atmosphere and like the war sounds and machine guns and like the stuff going, explosions and stuff going off. It does a good job of introducing the album because it is war thematic and like violence and war themes throughout the album. So it does really suit the album really well. It kind of eases you into it. Very cinematic, like I said, very cool sounding. The one thing I don't like about it is they called the intro The Arsonist. Normally, the title track of an album is kind of, in my opinion, a song on the album that kind of, you know, explains what the album's going to sound like or kind of represents the album as a whole. And to name the intro the album name just didn't make sense to me. Little gripe, I guess, off the top, but still kind of cool little intro. Nice way to ease into the album. And then the first song, Battle of the Harvest Moon, just a ripper, typical Sodom song. High intensity, angry. Great vocals on this one. Great riffs as well. High intensity, like I said. Some nice little guitar leads with D beats kind of mixed in there. And then it goes into the next song, Trigger Discipline, which I think was the first single they released a couple months ago. This one's got like some super heavy Slayer vibes, not only in the vocals but in the guitar riffs as well. Like if you didn't know it was in Sodom, you might mistake it for a Slayer song. Even the vocals, when the lead singer in this gets into the more higher register scream kind of vocal part of his range, he sounds exactly like Tom Araya. Like if Slayer ever needed a replacement singer, they should have got this guy. Like he sounds exactly like Tom Araya on many parts on this album, a couple songs in particular. And Trigger Discipline was definitely one of them. But it's a really cool song. Really dug it, but it was like almost too Slayer-esque for me. Definitely did sound like Sodom as well, but it sounded like a lost Slayer track to me. It was kind of weird. And then The Spirits That I Called, another banger, barn burner, high intensity, great riffs, another really good song. And the next one, Witch Hunter, had a little bit of a different vibe, a little more mid-pace, kind of a more chunky riff in it, a little bit more atmosphere, a little bit more undertones of melodies in this one. This is the first song on the album that had a little bit of a different vibe to it. That one and AWTF had kind of like an old school, more speed metal sound. Like it had a little more melody mixed into the music, which is a little bit unusual for Sodom at times. They're usually known to be in your face, aggressive, unrelenting kind of a band. But yeah, it was kind of a fresh little sound to hear between those two songs. Kind of that more speed metal influence, a little bit more melody mixed in, really kind of a little bit different. And then the song Scavenger, number 6. Really cool song on this one too. Definitely standout song for me. This one had a little bit more atmosphere at the beginning, kind of an eerie mid-paced chunker vibe at the beginning, mid-paced chunky riff. But it had kind of this eerie kind of haunting kind of vibe at the beginning, and then even the riff was a little bit different. Definitely a different sounding song in the album to me. And then the rest of the album is pretty similar. Going down the list here, Sane Insanity had a cool kind of little chorus to it. It was kind of memorable, kind of stood out to me. And then the rest of the tracks are kind of samey sounding, but not in a bad way necessarily. They're all bangers, all high pace, good guitar solos, great leads. Frank Blackfire had some really good leads on this album. I'm assuming he's doing most of the leads. And then the like I said, every song is kind of similar sounding, but still a thrasher. High intensity, angry, great riffs, great vocals, well composed, big production on this album. They sound really heavy and bombastic. I do like the production on this album quite a bit. Definitely one of my favorite album covers of the year for sure. Really stood out to me. Doesn't get more thrashy than that. Their logo and then the war-stricken land and the skeleton holding the soldier's shoulder, and then the big soldier guy in the main focus with the flamethrower and stuff. Hence the Arsonist. But really cool artwork. Really dig the artwork on this one. But overall thoughts, nothing mind-blowing. Another really solid Sodom album. You know what you're going to get. Not as good as the last album in my opinion. The last album was almost a perfect album to me. It was number 2 of my year last year. That's how good it was. But this album, worth a listen. Definitely worth a pickup. I'm going to give it out of 10. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Which is surprising because a little bit lower than a couple of thrash albums I've reviewed lately from some brand new bands. Just Sodom, just one of those bands that's really consistent, puts out top quality material every album. You're never going to be disappointed, but at the same time, they're playing a little bit safe and a little bit predictable at this late in their career. But again, not necessarily a bad thing because they always put out pretty top quality material. The other interesting thing I found about this album is right around the same time they released the album, they announced that they're going on almost like a permanent hiatus. They might not even reform again. This might be their last album is kind of what I'm saying. They're going on an indefinite hiatus. I'm not sure if they're ever going to reform again or come back to put out a new album. They're no plans to tour at this time. So I thought that was kind of weird to release a brand new album, and normally bands will tour right afterwards or at least play. They don't really come to North America a lot, but I thought they would at least tour in Europe quite a bit and do maybe the festival scene during the summer into the fall. But yeah, they just announced they're going to an extended hiatus indefinitely, so it sounds like long term. So I'm not sure if one of them has maybe some health issues, or I'm not sure what's happening there, but yeah, a little surprising on that one. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down below what you thought of the album, and keep it metal.